What is going on, everybody, from the ER Sports Squad? It's Ernest and Ralph again, here to talk to you about what we love the most, and that is professional sports. Big bro, how you doing, man?
My man, I gotta be real with you, bro. Honestly, man. So look, guys, contrary to belief, we're not celebrities. We're working people. All right, I work my ass off just like my brother does, my man. I'm under the weather, bro. I got the flu symptoms, I got the cold symptoms, I got the shit symptoms, whatever, everything you want to call it. But my brother says, you know what, bro? Y'all are speaking out. You're speaking out right now. You're talking out right now, and you guys are demanding. Y'all demand the Miami Heat. So you know what, man? My brother, he went ahead and talked it. You know what? And I'm gonna suck it up, man. I'm here for y'all, just like my brother over here, man.
Exactly, and that's what we're here to talk about, you guys. You guys wanted it by popular demand. We're gonna talk about the Miami Heat. Now, guys, we wanted to post a video about the Heat, but we're noticing stuff about this 2019 offseason. Things are happening in a rapid fire, and shit happens out of nowhere. We posted a video about Russell Westbrook. We really felt that Westbrook was coming to the Miami Heat. The talks were big. Everybody predicted he was coming here. It was not a matter of if, it was a matter of when. And when the Heat was going to make the right offer and what was going on, then BAM! He got traded to the Houston Rockets.
Yeah, man.
Out of nowhere. It sucks. I mean, if you're a Miami Heat fan, you see someone like that, and it breaks your heart, because with signing Jimmy Butler, you could put us at the top 5, top 6 of the East, you know, depending on how many games go your way.
Yeah.
You know, it really depends. But with Russell Westbrook, we would have been a top 3 team, guaranteed. In a lot of people's eyes, top 4.
Especially mine.
Yeah, but guys, there's a reason why Pat Riley didn't make that deal.
Yeah.
From what I heard, Miami wanted their draft picks back. As you guys know, the Thunder had their 2021 and 2023 pick. Riley wanted those back. Then the Thunder was like, all right, out of Justice Winslow, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo, we want 2 of those guys. Riley was willing to give 1. They didn't want to do it. Talk stalled, and then they went with the deal with the Rockets. My brother, my question to you, how you feeling about that?
So, brother, bottom line, from the reports what I've been hearing, I think what you're stating is pretty much accurate, what Pat Riley was requesting, but I think bottom line, what it came down to, my man Sam Presti went ahead and respected and honored Russell Westbrook's trade request.
Yeah.
He pretty much, as a thank you for committing 11 years to his franchise, and told Russell, what do you want to do? And I really truly feel at the end of the day that Russell Westbrook decided that Houston was the place he wanted to be.
I think so too.
He wanted to play alongside James Harden, so much so they went ahead and took back the remaining 3 years of Chris Paul's contract. Now, they got a nice draft pick compensation. They got 2 unprotected first-round picks. In addition, they also got 2 additional pick swaps as well. So they got a nice little haul. They got a big haul on Chris Paul's contract, which they're going to have to go ahead and deal with in their own right. But they acted in good faith on Russell Westbrook. And honestly, it says a lot about Sam Presti and the organization of Oklahoma City. So in the future, when they have potential salary cap space, I'm sure players saw what Oklahoma did. And that has to say a lot. And I think that's what led to Russell Westbrook, unfortunately, not ending up in Miami, ending up in Houston.
Yeah, man. Honestly, kudos to Sam Presti, because, I mean, you lose a possible championship contending by trading Paul George and Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
But in the next 6 years, you have a total of 13, if not possibly 17 draft picks, depending on the pick swaps and what's protected and not protected. So they've set themselves up for the future. Good for them. Sucks for a Miami Heat fan. You want that. But honestly, bro, it's not that bad. I mean, it sucks losing Russell Westbrook. I understand why they did it. Yeah, they took Chris Paul.
Yeah.
The contract's bad, but it's only 3 years, not like Westbrook's 4 years. But for the Heat, you keep Justice Winslow, you keep Tyler Hero, you keep Bam Adebayo, you have Jimmy Butler, you surround them with these dogs. They might be something. Now, let me ask you this, bro, because I know the trade talks have stalled with OKC, but they might come back in the future. Do you think Chris Paul might be a good fit here with the Heat?
I think Chris Paul's a really good fit. And you could actually even argue, guys, that maybe even Chris Paul's a better fit on this team as Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
Now, I am no way saying that Chris Paul's a better player. Okay? I don't think anybody in there right now would say that at this stage. But if you look at the way Russell Westbrook mentality is, the alpha that he is, just like Jimmy Butler, they're both alphas. And they're going to have to figure that out in Houston one way or another. But in terms of fit, honestly, man, Chris Paul is the better fit.
Yeah.
He's the facilitator.
Exactly.
And if you kind of think about it, he was kind of playing out of his game, out of position in Houston, although he was playing point guard. But Chris Paul, all throughout his whole career, has always been that ball dominant guy.
Exactly.
He was that guy with New Orleans, and he was with that guy with the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Always being the ball dominant guy, facilitating the whole offense. Everything started around him.
Exactly.
Like he did in New Orleans and with the Clippers as well. So you could argue it's actually a better fit.
Yeah, he was playing off the ball in Houston. It wasn't really his game.
Of course not.
If he was here in Miami with Jimmy Butler, it's a great 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
You can easily see him average anywhere from 15 to 18 points, maybe 10 assists, a steal or two. That's a great number 2.
That's his
here in Miami.
career.
And
That's
honestly,
his
bro,
career.
here's the way I can see it. Because when you bring in a guy like Jimmy Butler, who's 30 years old, you commit to him to 4 years, you can't tell him, all right, man, we're going to sign you and let's wait for the 2021 season, see what opens up. You want to win now. So my opinion is, if you can make a trade for Chris Paul, let's see what happens this next 2 years. Make it a 2-year project. Trade for Paul. Try not to give up Winslow, Hero, or Adebayo, which I think that he can do.
Well, let's be real about one thing. If we're trading for Chris Paul, we're not giving any of those.
No, we're not, because honestly, with the way his contract is, the OKC Thunder is going to have to take salary dump contracts from us, meaning they're going to have to take James Johnson, Dion Waiters, Kelly Olynyk, and they're going to have to give us back our draft picks.
Yeah.
Which is, honestly, guys, this is the reason why these trade talks stall. Here's a couple things. Miami does not want to make this deal unless they get their 2021 unprotected draft pick back and their 2023 protected draft pick back. Along with that, they also wanted Chris Paul to sign on paper that he would decline his 2022 player option, which is $44 million. So Miami's asking for a lot. At the end of the day, they might not get that. They can still trade him after 2 years, but that's what's going on, and that's why the talks have stalled. Because nobody wants to take on that contract. But if the Heat do, and they're able to salary dump those 3 guys, take on Paul with these young guys, I can see Miami being a top 4 team.
Yeah, absolutely I can, my man. Especially if Chris Paul, I mean, let's be honest about one thing. The perception about Chris Paul, about him being the type of player that he is and nobody wanted him, let's keep it clear, it's only about the contract.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you one thing. If Chris Paul gets bought out tomorrow, everybody and their mama's going after Chris Paul.
We all know that.
And you know the Lakers are going to go after him. You know, any team can use a player like Chris Paul. It's just, unfortunately, they can't use Chris Paul at his salary number.
Exactly.
That's the only thing. So he's really a victim at the moment right now just because no matter how much money he's making. But if you think about it, why is he making that much money? It's based on what he performed in the past.
Exactly.
Being an all-NBA perennial point guard. And honestly, my man, he will be a great fit on this team. If we can make it work out and we can make the numbers match, I'm definitely on board. I am no way in shape or form wanting to give up any of our young talent that we have on board with
we won't have to.
not even Justice Winslow. So in hindsight, maybe it actually could be a blessing in disguise that we did not trade for Russell Westbrook, even though we all did. But at the end of the day, we have to look at that space value right now. Russell Westbrook is no longer an option. He is in Houston. Chris Paul is still an option. But I believe in the Godfather. I believe in Pat Riley. And if Pat Riley decides, you know what, this is where we have to go, I'm going to believe in him. But if Pat Riley says, this is not the way to go, I have a bigger plan ahead coming for us, I'm with him as well.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I totally agree. I mean, I want to get out of the Chris Paul subject in a second, but I mean, we said it. I believe he would be a good fit here. As I mentioned earlier,
Great fit.
If we're able to make that deal for him and keep the young guys, I like this team.
Yeah.
Chris Paul, I mean, when you get a guy like Chris Paul, you're taking a couple things. One, he's not going to play in a lot in the season. In the last 3 years, he's played an average of 55 to 60 games. So you know that's what you're getting. And with the contract that he's getting, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So it sucks to have him because of that. But if he's healthy at playoff time, with a Jimmy Butler, with these young kids ready to go, I could see the Heat go to the semifinals, maybe even the Eastern Finals, and who knows? With luck going their way, maybe a couple injuries, sneak into the finals. But that's a possibility.
Yeah.
Now, here's an issue with Chris Paul, and maybe a little bit with Russell Westbrook. Age. They're both in their 30s.
Yeah.
Pat Riley said something before this offseason. I'm not going to commit to a guy long term in his going into his mid-30s.
Yeah.
So a deal with him is age, and here's another guy that I want to talk to that, bro, I mentioned it before, shut me down in the last video, but I'm going to bring it up again. Mr. Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
I've heard some things lately, and I know our fans are thinking about this too, and I want to bring it to you, man. in the next few days, on July 26th, the Washington Wizards can offer Bradley Beal a 3-year, $111 million contract extension. I heard from Jalen Rose the other day, Get Out, great show, and I've been hearing the grapevines and the rumors too, that it's possible that Bradley Beal will decline that extension. So if he declines that extension, that means he's willing to become a free agent in the 2021 offseason. As we've seen these days, players are not going to just let players walk. They're going to try to get something out of them. The Heat are aggressive and willing to make an offer. My brother, have you changed your opinion about the Bradley Beal option a little bit?
It's not about changing my opinion.
Well, I mean, you weren't for it the last time we spoke about it.
I've always been in for Bradley Beal. But here's the bottom line, guys, going on right now. Bradley Beal, this is news because Bradley Beal has come out public saying that he's committed to this team, and he's committed to actually recruiting to bring other talent to this team as well. So he has shown, at least on video, okay, on face value, that he is committed to this franchise and being a franchise player. He's 25 years old.
Young kids change your mind all the time.
So now, bottom line is this. I mean, he can go ahead and take a 3-year extension if he wanted to right now. I don't think it is in his best interest. I think it's his best interest to play out this year and then wait until the final year of his contract where he's eligible to get an additional year with more money on the back end. So, I mean, unless he's worried about the injuries could happen, things like that, even though Bradley Beal has never been injury prone, you know, for the most part. He did have some issues earlier on in his career when he first came into the league and everything, but it was more nagging injuries. It wasn't nothing chronic or things like that. So bottom line, where Bradley Beal, can it be a possibility? Yes, it would be a possibility. But the thing is this, he'd have to come out public, okay, which there's rumblings, but public to say, I am out, I am no longer vested in Washington, I only want to sign with one team long term, and that is the Miami Heat. And that is the only way I can see happen. Because if Bradley Beal just says, look, guys, Washington, thank you. I'm not interested in negotiating a long-term deal. I'm interested in looking at ventures, other outside of Washington. If he doesn't specify he'll only sign an extension with Miami, all these teams around the league are going to line up. Because there's teams that, even though we now have some pretty good assets that we can offer, there are teams also that's just as good as assets, if not even better, that could make a run for Bradley Beal. So I think that's going to be one of the main things that's going to happen. And the reason I told you about that Bradley Beal factor is because I just didn't feel we had quite the assets in terms of draft pick capital to go ahead and go after
that is the issue,
like Bradley Beal. Let's say, for example, let's throw a team out there that we're just hypothetically talking. Let's say Oklahoma City, they have all these draft picks. And they want to go ahead and speed up this rebuild. They want to bring in a guy like Bradley Beal. Do I see it? No. But at the same time, Oklahoma did this once already with Paul George. Okay, so can Sam Presti go ahead and possibly try to make a move like this again? You never know. I'm just using Oklahoma as an example. There are other teams also have valuable assets as well. So it's really going to come down to what Bradley Beal does say in those trade requests. If he does request a trade, and then they go from there.
I mean, at the end of the day, the reason why I say Bradley Beal, and here's something that we have to take account for. When these guys were young. Like 10 years ago, they were kids watching the NBA just like all of us. And Bradley Beal has shown that his idol growing up is Dwayne Wade. He's shown an interest in playing in Miami. He put a post on Twitter that Bam Adebayo put out there recently, an old post back in 2013 saying that the Miami Heat are one of the greatest franchises and he would love playing there. I know it's old stuff, but all this stuff lingers, and you're talking about a 25-year-old kid. Mind changes. People change. He committed to Washington. They suck right now. They ain't going anywhere. At their best, they're 8th seed or whatever. Bradley Beal just came off of one of his best seasons. I could see him. I could really see him, bro, being here. And like you said, a lot of factors have to come into him wanting to be here, but I could really see him requesting to come to Miami. But that's one thing, your opinion, my opinion. One thing that I didn't want to talk about, because we've discussed certain players possibly coming to the team, but let's push that to the side. Let's take this team that we have now. This current roster that we have. Jimmy Butler and these dogs. Let me ask you, bro. How do you see this team doing in 2020?
So, this is what it comes down to. You and me talked about it off camera. If Adebayo could develop to be one of the best centers in basketball. If Tyler Hero could improve to be one of the steals of the draft and be, we were talking about off camera, guys, in our previous video we mentioned about Tyler Hero, about the Devin Booker, Klay Thompson, and our buddy Mike C. We're gonna give you a shout out, Mikey. He talked about, I'll take a Mike Miller prime.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's exactly what he can be.
Yeah.
A guy who can come in, who can handle the basketball, can pass the ball, can shoot the three ball, and also play some defense out there as well. So you have that going on for him. You also have Justice Winslow, who continues to develop and ascend. You also have Dion Waiters. The videos are going viral out there about how he's shredding up, how he's getting back into shape. James Johnson's getting back into game shape. You got Kelly Olynyk. You got Myers Leonard. You got Dragic coming back from injury. He's shown when completely healthy, he can play at all-star level. We can actually go ahead and still, even without Russell Westbrook, still be a potentially top 4 seeded team in the Eastern Conference. Of course, guys, I throw a lot of ifs. Everything has to work out perfectly. And Jimmy Butler has to come in here and be that type of player that we mentioned in a few videos before. We have the perfect team to put around the superstar. But we don't have it. Now the perception is we have Jimmy Butler. And Jimmy Butler definitely in his eyes, he sees himself as that type of superstar. Okay? I mean, let's keep it real about Jimmy Butler. Honestly, he's never been really given that opportunity to be that type of player. Now, you guys are going to stop me, oh, but wait a minute, what about Chicago? Yeah, but Chicago, he was still ascending. He was still ascending to become the type of player he wanted to be. And at the same time, Chicago, they were kind of mixed match going back and forth, wondering, what team are we? Are we really a team that can contend with Jimmy Butler being our franchise player? Or are we just a team that, you know what, that Jimmy Butler is the type of player that is developed the best we can and get the most pieces in return that we can for him? Because we don't believe he can be that type of player. He was traded in Minnesota, played with a bunch of kids, traded to Philadelphia. We saw what transpired. Now Jimmy Butler is put up a shutout. And you know what? I'm as happy as anybody getting Jimmy Butler. This is Jimmy Butler's moment to show everybody, I can be that type of player.
I really feel he can, bro. We recently saw in the playoffs, that series against the Raptors, when he was with Philadelphia, he was the best player on that team. This guy averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He dominated that series. He was defending Kawhi Leonard at a high level. Jimmy Butler has proven time and time again that he can be that guy, that he can be that alpha. Is he a top 5 or top 10 NBA player? No, maybe not. But he's damn sure top 15. He's like 12, 13. This guy is an alpha dog, and he's confident as hell, and he wants to take that reins with the team. This team is going to be the best one.
So let me ask you a question. And Jimmy Butler at his best, what type of player do you see him being?
I see him being 25 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, averaging over 2 steals a game, possibly being the defensive player of the year.
So this is why I feel it's going to take for us to reach the Eastern Conference Finals. Even your pie in the sky, I'm a Heat lifer. Well, I'm sorry with the shirt, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is important to have that. Making possibly the NBA Finals. We need Jimmy Butler, what Paul George was with the Indiana Pacers. When they were making that run against Miami with LeBron, with Wade and Chris Bosh, Indiana gave us a run for our money. Because they had, if you really think about it, the type of team that we're putting around Jimmy Butler. You know what I mean? They had a supporting cast. You had the David West. You had the George Hill. You had the Lance Stevenson. You had also Roy Hibbert. These are not household name guys, but these are guys you put around your eventual superstar.
Absolutely.
Who became Paul
and
George.
The ceiling of this team, I feel, can possibly be that. Because here's what I'm thinking. Last season sucked. Here's why, though. You have Goran Dragic. After the 30-11 season in 2017, immediately after that, he went to go play the European World Cup in Slovenia. After they won the championship, 1 week later, he was in training camp playing a full season with the Miami Heat. He had an all-star season. Last year was the season after that. His body broke down. Dion Waiters, his ankle completely snapped off. He wasn't in playing shape. James Johnson had the sports hernia. Could not get his rhythm back all season. He finally caught wind towards the end. But by that time, we were out. These guys got eliminated from the season in April. That means they're going to have 5 to 6 months to both get back in playing shape and get their bodies right. These guys are coming back to prove that they're not old. You have Bam Adebayo ascending. Justice Winslow becoming that possibly next leader role in Miami Heat because he was drafted here. He knows the system. He's going to be that guy. And along with Jimmy Butler, the defense these two guys are going to pull is going to be incredible. Then you have Tyler Hero wanting to prove that he's going to be that next ascending guy who you said, Mike C said too, and I agree, prime Mike Miller. Next to Jimmy Butler, I see Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero as the 2002 Tracy McGrady and Mike Miller. crossing fingers. This team, bro, the ceiling, top 4, semifinals, Eastern Conference Finals, I'll be happy. Obviously, we all want to see the NBA Finals. We might not get that. But here's what I want to ask you. And something I want to ask the ER Sports Squad too. Record prediction. Because next year, we all have a number. And I'm going to ask you this. I want you to give your prediction. I'll give mine, and then we're going to ask sports. But where do you see this team falling in the East next year?
So before I get that prediction, my man, like I said, Mike, shout out to you again. We love that hero comparison, Mike Miller. Slow down comparing Jimmy Butler to a Brian Tracy McGrady. Slow down on that.
Man, you never know.
Let's slow down. I think I'm more willing.
I mean, I'm talking about like a nice 1-2 punch.
Look, I really do believe Ernie, man, with this team at its highest peak, at its highest potential, I see Indiana Pacers 2012, 2013. I really
that.
do. You
I like
mentioned
that.
team. Because what was that Indiana team full of?
Dogs.
Bunch of dogs.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
Dogs.
Defensively, hard playing, you know what I'm saying? In your face, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
And that's the type of Miami Heat team that I see. And I think Jimmy Butler, right, healthy, can play up to that Paul George level that we saw with the right team around them that we have right now. So when you want to talk about prediction, if we can play at that level, and we're definitely well coached, okay?
Oh yeah,
Eric
Spoelstra
as well.
most definitely.
Then you know what, my man? If everything works out right for us, man, there's no reason to think why we can't be a 53-54 win team this year, my man. You know what I'm saying?
With a team
of
like
course,
that, yeah.
everything has to work out our way. How often does it? It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? But I am realistic about one thing. I really think Adebayo is going to be an ascending player this year. I really, truly believe that, my man. I believe the fact that Whiteside not being there anymore is going to open the floodgates for Adebayo.
Yeah.
Hero, I think he's going to have his moments. He's going to have some big shots, some nice plays. He's going to come on ESPN, top 10 and everything. Will he be a consistent guy right out the gates? You know what I'm saying? Probably at first he's going to show these Spurs at the moment, but as rookies go, you know what I'm saying, throughout it's a long year compared to the college season. So he might hit a wall at some point.
Or hopefully he breaks out like Devin Booker.
You know, Dragic, you know what I'm saying? They see how he comes back from injury. Unfortunately, maybe it's possible that we've already seen the best of Dragic, and we might continue to see the downfall of him as age starts to keep up with him as well.
And here's what I'll say about that, though. It's depending on how you do the lineup this year. Here's what I would like to see.
We don't have a lot of depth, but we have some depth.
But I will say this, we're 9 deep. Let me throw this lineup out there to you. Starting 5. Starting at point guard, Justice Winslow. 6'6" point guard, can handle the ball, hit the open shot, perfect. Starting at shooting guard, in the beginning of the season, Dion Waiters. I like to see Dion start with Justice Winslow, maybe eventually get Hero in there to do the space shooting if he gets better throughout the year. Starting at small forward, Jimmy Butler. Power forward, Kelly Olynyk. Center, Bam Adebayo. That lineup towards the end of the year last year proved to be good with Adebayo, Olynyk, Waiters, and Winslow, and they had Richardson. Just replace Richardson with Winslow. And that is a defensive unit that is tough as hell. Dogs, bunch of that guys that can
Well, that's why I said that.
And with Dragic coming off the bench, dude, I can see Dragic being our 6th man.
I think starting in game 1, my brother, unless something happens in training camp or preseason that he still has ailments from his prior injuries, I can see Dragic starting the season at point guard. I do see you on one thing where if we come off so out the gates where Winslow can be transitioned to that point guard position, I'm going to tell you one thing. We can transition Winslow wherever we want. Winslow is going to go ahead and play his game, but Butler's going to have the ball in his hands a lot.
I just honestly...
He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot.
Yeah, I just honestly feel, bro, that if the Heat were willing to trade Dragic in that 3-team trade to the Mavericks, they're fully committed on going with Justice Winslow as their starting point guard.
Well, we're talking about a numbers game. Let's be real about it. Dragic was in the talks because it was a numbers game, and there wasn't really a market out there for Whiteside until that trade came out with the point. Guys, remember, I'm under the weather. With the Portland Trailblazers, you know what I'm saying?
That.
So it was really more about a numbers game. I do really feel that Pat Riley is still somewhat committed to Goran Dragic, and I'll tell you one thing, man. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking go ahead and dog Goran Dragic. I think Goran Dragic, if he's healthy, if he's right, he can come in this season and score his 17 points a game, 18 points a game.
That'd be great.
Yeah, and still facilitate this offense and have a good combination with Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
You know
So let me ask you this. Let's say James Johnson, Goran Dragic, and Dion Waiters are back to the 2017 selves with Tyler Hero, Myers Leonard, Justice Winslow, Bam Adebayo, all these guys. I feel Jimmy Butler's going to lead this team in scoring.
He better.
He better. Who do you see being number 2? And what scoring average would you put them at, realistically?
Well,
let's say Jimmy averages 22 to 23.
What it should be is Dragic should be the number 2. He should be the number 2. Okay, guys? You know what I'm saying? If you look at the rest of the players of this team, I know you're probably thinking maybe I might say Dion Waiters.
Yeah.
Dion Waiters, my man, you know what I'm saying? He's had his moments and things like that. But Ernie Bo, let's be real about one thing. Dion Waiters has been in the NBA since what? 2012? Has he ever been a 20-point per game scorer in this league? No.
He's always roughed around 15, 16.
16 points. He's had his moments in that.
Which is good. That's
I
great.
think Dion Waiters, you know what Dion Waiters' role would be perfect in, bro? The Lou Williams role in the Clippers. Being that 6
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing.
Okay.
Have your lineup. Have your Winslow. Have your Adebayo starting lineup. They're not scorers.
Okay.
They're not scorers at all. So you have your Adebayo at center. Get those rebounds. Get those block shots. You know, the lobs in the basket, the putbacks. Go ahead and have Winslow play defense, facilitate offense as well. Olynyk being a spy, or maybe Michael James Johnson as a starting power forward. Another guy who's a tough defender, you know, can hit perimeter shots, not consistent base, but can knock them down. But then you have Olynyk and you have Dion Waiters and Tyler Hero come in that second unit.
Yeah.
So you go ahead, even though you have your second unit, you have instant offense that comes in there and instant shooting as well.
Okay.
So that would be my approach if I was coaching the team to start off the year. Of course, a lot of things can change as the regular season goes by.
Okay. I like it, bro. I like the opinion. So let's give it right now. 2019-2020 season, what's the Miami Heat's record?
So I did predict. Honestly,
No, I want to hear a record. I want to hear
guys. So
your
look,
prediction.
Look, if everything goes right, I don't think there's any reason why we cannot be a 53-54 win team. If I'm gonna maybe I'll throw a low ball, but of course easy money to say early mid 40s. But I think if assuming that a lot of things does go right and some things don't go right, because after every team in the NBA, I'm gonna go ahead right now and predict a 48-win season.
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say 48-34. I swear to God. That's the number that I had in my head.
I want to say 50. I'm on 5-0. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let's say this. We're gonna say right now. We're gonna confidently say for the 2020 season, we are between 48-34 to 50-32.
Okay, so
that is the average we're going.
So we're 49 wins.
49
Let's
wins.
go 50, bro.
50
Let's
without
go 50. You can do it, bro.
We're predicting a 50-32 season.
You know what, let's do it, bro.
Hell
50
yeah.
wins. 50
Hell
wins.
yeah.
Not
So-
51, not 49. 50 wins.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, I was going to ask this next question, but I want to ask, who do you believe in the Miami Heat in the 2020 season will have a breakout year? But from what you've been saying, Bam Adebayo, and I feel the same way. We're predicting Bam Adebayo to have a breakout season. Guys, I'll tell you this.
I am hoping, before you say that part, I'm hoping we have a few breakouts.
Yes.
I'm hoping that our breakout will be Adebayo and Justice Winslow. I'm hoping that we have the steal of the draft and Tyler Hero. And I'm hoping, if you want to call it that we can have a comeback player of the year, Dion Waiters.
That'd be a beautiful story. That is really true. So we both agree the breakout player will be Bam Adebayo. Brother, before we end the topic, are there any wild card players?
We're still doing that shit? We're still doing wild
Yeah,
card?
we're still doing that. At least for the Heat episode. Anybody you feel that Miami Heat, I mean, we talked about Bradley Beal, we talked about Westbrook, we talked about Chris Paul. Is there any other players out there that you think realistically that he can go after?
I do. And while we tried to go ahead and go after Russell Westbrook, we swung and we missed. Chris Paul still being the talk. He's not so much of a wild card. We can still play out there. There is one player that I'm thinking in mind. If Miami Heat can go ahead and this doesn't be gut to make a negotiation again, I will go ahead and call Cleveland and see what's up with Kevin Love.
Yo, I love that.
I see what's going on with Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Obviously, Cleveland right now, they have to face the facts, and Dan Gilbert and Kobe has to go ahead and face the facts. They're not going to contend anytime soon. They are in a rebuilding mode. And Kevin Love obviously has had his injury histories in the past, and he's got a pretty big contract, but he is younger than Chris Paul. And we could use a starting caliber, consistent power forward in our team. And I will go ahead and I will call Cleveland and look, Cleveland, what would it go ahead and take and go ahead and try to make a deal? We don't have much draft picks in terms of what we can offer, but definitely what we can offer Cleveland is salary cap relief moving forward.
Beautiful.
Because remember, Kevin Love just recently signed a new contract, so he still has 4 more years left on that big deal. We can go ahead and we can mismatch with a James Johnson. We still have Myers Leonard out there. Maybe another contract. Remember, we are hard cap at this moment. And we can say, look, you know what? You are taking dollar for dollar. But if you look at it, look at the long term. Look how much luxury tax you're saving and how much salary cap space you're going to have moving forward as well. So I could definitely see Kevin Love being a strong possibility, and I think he will fit great.
I love it.
Jimmy Butler. Just
I
like
love
we're
it.
making Chris Paul, he will facilitate around Jimmy Butler. Kevin Love, obviously he's playing with stars. Oh, he came with the stars, LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. He showed that he could be a spot-up shooter. He can hit that corner shot. He's a great rebounder. Outlet pass, he got that.
I agree.
So I think he could be a great fit.
I agree, man. I love it. Guys, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
We've gone on and on. You know how we feel about the Miami Heat. We wanted to give you what you want. We wanted to cover every single topic, every rumor, every inch, every sniff that's been whipped of Miami Heat rumors. You asked for it, we delivered. Guys, it's your turn. We want to hear from you. What do you feel is the ceiling for the 2020 Miami Heat currently constructed? I want every single Miami Heat fan to write in the comments, what is your Miami Heat prediction? Who knows? Maybe by the end of the 2020 season, we will be in a position that we'll be able to do a gifting breakout for the winner. Who knows?
Yeah.
We're going to try to get in a position to do a lot of fun things for you guys. But in order to do that, we need you to help us out. Get the word out there. Build ER Sports. First and foremost, thanks to everybody that's built our page, that's made us from the ground up. We started with 0 subscribers. We're over 120 subscribers right now. So thank you guys for supporting us. But we need you to spread the word. Share on social media. Like the page. Comment. Go ahead and tell every single person about it. But most importantly, if you have not subscribed, brother, tell them what to do.
You said it, man.
Subscribe. Hit that button in the bottom. Subscribe. Show us your love, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Give us your love. Give us your opinion about the Miami Heat. We're going to go ahead and break out, do some little bit things different. The Miami Heat, their season's going to go on. But right now we're ending into a dry period for the NBA free agency period. If things come up again, we're going to talk about it. But we're going to branch out.
Anything with the Heat, guys, we'll go ahead and we'll come out with
Absolutely.
it.
Well, we're going to branch out. We're going to start doing some different things, guys. We're excited. Thank you so much for the love. And until next time, Wolfpack out.
That's
enough said.